Hey, it's me, and I'm back again here at the clock bench. There's the 31-day wall clock. I do have some stuff moved out of the way for this video, so let's get right in. So this clock was made by the Mauthe company. It came out in about 1950, I'd say, maybe 51, I'm not sure. And how they made these clocks was they would have one movement, but the cases would differ, and they kept the same chimes. These clocks usually had a Westminster chime, or they had the bim-bam chimes. And this one here has two winding arbors, so it will be a bim-bam chime clock. And what that means is on the half hour, it does the bim-bam notes once, and for the top of the hour, it will do it for how many hours there are. And I'll demonstrate that really quick so you can get an idea. I'll do the hour first, and then I'll move it back down to 4:30, and you can hear half hour. Now 4:30 on the half hour, we'll do two notes signaling the half hour. So back to how they make these clocks. They would have a lot of case stylings for just one movement. And you would see these clocks, they made about 1,000 of these. Maybe about, for other models they would make, a certain amount. This one I think they made 1,000 of these models. And they would put the same movement, which I'll show you in just a minute. They put the same movement in all those models, but the cases would be different. And that was kind of how they distributed clocks in 1950, the Mauthe company. So let's get a good look at the case. I did go over and polish it a bit. Oops, I just hit my light. I just did it again. This is probably one of the prettier clocks that I own. The glass does not shut though, so I'll just keep it open. That does bother me sometimes, but something small. And this little scroll right here is missing. I guess it started flaking and all the paint came off. The glass, it's dome glass, it's not flat. Usually older clocks, a lot older ones, have flat glass. So I'm going to spin the clock around, show you the movement. See. So we're at the back, and the door has on the bottom, it has the Mauthe logo from this time period. Original Mauthe, made in Germany. The door has a latch, you twist it to open it. The door opens 90 degrees, allowing you to be able to work on the movement without the door getting in the way. You can see the chime rods there. It has 3 chime rods. It has the pendulum, and you can see the back plate of the movement. It has a guard to protect the chime rods while you move the clock. In a car, you wouldn't really be moving it. It's a clock, so again, I'm not really sure entirely what this is, but I do know it's there to protect it. And something I need your guys' help on. You see that little thing sticking out by the top? Hold on. It's right there, that thing. I don't really know what that is. I did play around with it a bit before I'm shooting the video right now. And I think it advances the chime forwards or backwards depending on which way you push it. I thought it was a silencing lever, which it's not. So I think it is a feature to advance or retard the chiming of the clock in case it gets out of sync. Which I think is just easier to move the hour hand. But anyway, I will go ahead and let it chime again, and you can see the chiming rods get struck by the hammers. It'll be a lot louder than the first time, hopefully. We'll bring the minute hand. It should be 5 o'clock, so it'll do about 10 notes if everything's synced up correctly. Okay, and I'll do the half hour one more time. Okay, so I'm going to tell you real quick before I flip the clock back around the problems, anything I've had with this movement, stuff I've noticed. I have noticed that the crutch is very sensitive to any movement. So if you pick this clock up and turn it, it will probably knock the crutch off a bit. If you're wondering what the crutch is, it is this right here. And it connects the suspension spring and the pendulum to the escapement and regulates the clock. If you don't know what I'm saying, it's basically how the movement is connected to the pendulum. So that does tend to get out of whack quite a bit if you're moving it a lot. Now if you have this on your mantle, well, it's no big deal because it's stationary, but if you have it on a desk like I do in your collection and you're always moving stuff, it's kind of an issue. So it does get out of beat, and taking the movement out is a pain, and I've done it before and I don't want to do it again. So I'll flip the clock around and add some finishing details. Here's the front of the clock once again. Very nice clock. Another issue I have is that I don't have a key for it. You may be thinking, well, how's it working? Well, I did have a key. It was a universal key. It is like this key, except it has five more points on it. And it takes a size 12 key, which is that's a very odd key size, not easy to find. And it hasn't been wound in a couple years, actually. So that's why I don't wind it. It used to be broken, by the way, so I haven't had to wind it in a couple years. Let it chime again. This is the only clock that I have that has chime rods, but that will, in fact, be changing soon. Yes, that's right. After a couple of years, I'm finally getting a new clock. It'll be in soon. I'll make a bunch of videos on it. Anyway, back to the Mauthe Mantle Clock. So, about the key, I don't know, I may have to sell this clock. It's been something I've been thinking about for a while. That was my original plan for it, but I might end up keeping it. So, don't worry, I could still wind the clock with a spring release key. It will just be a lot more difficult. It'll take about triple the time as it would with the normal key. I'll let ding the half hour one more time, and I will see you later.